Hello, and welcome to Addicted Like Us, a podcast discussing all things written by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I'm your host, Haley, and today I have Zoe, aka Dear Reader Zoe, with me to talk about Long Way Down, Book 9 in the Addicted series. This is part 7 of the Long Way Down episodes, so make sure you listen to the first 6 before you listen to this one, or you'll be very confused. A quick recap, I'm Haley, a longtime reader and lover of Krista and Becca's work. I'm also a part-time illustrator, and I had the privilege of working on the special edition covers for the Like Us series. Now, I just love to spend my time talking about all my favorite books, aka anything written by Krista and Becca. So the Addicted Like Us podcast was created so I could sit down with friends and discuss all of our thoughts. So let me reintroduce you to Zoe.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. I'm also a longtime reader and just lover of all things Krista and Becca Ritchie. And this is super, super special because that's actually what started Haley and I's friendship, the Addicted series, and obviously Haley's incredible Like Us editions, and I mean especially Reich and Daisy. So I'm very, very happy to be here discussing all things Long Way Down today.
We love the Meadows fam. All right, so a recap of what's been going on in the book so far, 500 pages in.
Do you want to do just like a recap of the last part?
Essentially, Reich and Daisy, they are married now. They are expecting a baby. Right after their wedding and their honeymoon, Reich went climbing and had a rock climbing accident. He really fucked up his leg, but even worse, his best friend, Adam Sully, died in the accident. So Reich has been dealing with the grief of losing his best friend, but also it's tied in with his love of rock climbing. So he's lost 2 loves in his life. So he's been dealing with that. What else? Daisy, throughout the whole book, has been dealing with trying to get rid of her friends. They have been texting her constantly, threatening to show up in their neighborhood to convince her to do a second season of the reality TV show. Princesses of Philly, now coined Queens of Philadelphia. She doesn't want to do that. None of them want to do that, but Cleo and Harper keep harassing her about it. Also, because they said they're not going to do Queens of Philadelphia, they've been facing a lot of backlash, and it stems from people who do want them to do the show and are upset that they won't, and then people who just generally don't like them. And so they've been getting flower bombed throughout the book. And so far it's been Daisy, Rose, Honor, and Lo. I think that's all 4 of them have been flower bombed at this point. So only 2 left.
Also to say that now everybody knows, because obviously it was only really the core 6 and maybe Willow who knew that Reich and Daisy were trying for a baby. But it came out kind of by accident from Sam at Reich and Daisy's wedding that Daisy is pregnant, so now her parents know, and the public also knows because there was a photo of her with a small baby bump in one of the tabloids.
Right.
So there's
Yes. Also, throughout the whole book, we found out that Willow is actually Jonathan Hale's daughter. And in, I don't think it was the last part, but the part before that, she finally did get to meet with him and talk with him. And that was before we found out that Daisy was pregnant. So it's been several months of her getting to know Jonathan at this point that we're picking up in. And I'm so upset that I forgot to talk about it because I'm reading Kiss the Sky now. And I got to this part and I was like, oh my God, how the fuck did I forget to... So Rose and Connor have had 2 more babies. They've had Charlie and Beckett. They're twins. And I missed that in Kiss the Sky, when the psychic showed up and did the reading, the psychic was like, you're very fertile, Rose. I sense twin boys in your future. And she was right. I'm so mad that I forgot to bring it up when we mentioned the twins. But I'm bringing it up now. I did not it was at the back of my mind. Kiss the Sky refreshed it. I got it. I got it covered. We're good.
I mean, I love that. We always find something new in a reread. We've discussed this, that every time you reread, it's just as special as reading it the first time. But also for this reason, because you find these tiny little details or these like Easter eggs or these foreshadowing from like 4 books ahead or 5 books ahead, actually.
Seriously, you've got thousands of
Crazy
pages of book that you've consumed at this point. It's really hard to remember on a first time read all of the tiny little details. You gotta reread it over and over to pick up all of the little things that are in there. There were plenty that I caught in Burn Bright, and I can't wait to catch more. I'm just
I
saying.
was also going to say, just in our little recap, that you mentioned obviously that Reich was really struggling because he lost Adam Sully as well as having a climbing accident. And we saw him basically for the last episode, all that we covered then, that he really had no motivation to do any recovery. He was just kind of like down in the dumps and just sitting around. He had no, like, you know, he obviously loves climbing, that's in his soul, but also he loves running. He had no interest in doing his physical therapy or talking about anything. And Lo took on Reich's role from that, you know, he's had for the majority of the books, and kind of was acting like the big brother, or just being like, I guess in Lo's words, a hard ass. And cute.
Forgot to make it purple.
Lo gave him like 8 weeks, I think. He was like, you have 8 weeks, and if you haven't done anything by them, he really got on Reich's case and was just constantly like bugging him. And they had it, not really had it out, but they had a bit of a like emotional confrontation. And Reich is doing his physical therapy with Lo now, and we're all very happy about it. It's kind of a role reversal for them, so it's a very full circle moment as well.
Yes. So all of that, we ended with the core 8 about to go to a Halloween party. For Lo's birthday, they're going to a Halloween party in the Hamptons. They're not bringing their bodyguards with them. Bodyguards are not allowed at this Halloween party.
I think it's a celebrity Halloween party, so it's kind of not like just that the core 8 hasn't brought their bodyguards, like no one's allowed to bring their bodyguard.
Right. So they are on the way to that. So that is where we pick up with chapter 57, with Daisy and Willow went to the bathroom in this big mansion in the Hamptons, and they got separated from the rest of the group. Like the group, it was not where they were meant to be. Like they were going to meet up at like a coffin in the front hall or somewhere, and they all left. So they are trying to find everybody else. They run into a sleaze bag that like hits on them, and Daisy's pregnant. Willow is a introvert. Neither of them want this attention. I do like there's this thing where he hits on Daisy, and she mentions that like she brushes him off, but she's really nice about it. And she's like, I still want to be nice. Like Rose or Reich might have been a little meaner about it, but like, I don't need to be them. I can use my voice, but it does not need to be like an exact replica of the people who are urging me to use my voice. I can use it the way I want to use it.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Which is really special.
Yeah. I can be me. I know who that is now. Oh, Daisy. So then they finally find everybody in the kitchen. We're trying not to go too much into the banter because we have plenty to talk about, but like, it's right there. Lo is breaking into the cabinets, but not the way he used to break into cabinets like we saw in Addicted to You way back then, trying to get into the alcohol. He's just really hungry and wants some snacks, so he grabs a box of Cheez-Its.
It's very reminiscent of, what was it, the New Year's Eve party, where Lo has this whole banter scene because he's just hungry and Connor hasn't provided them with proper dinner.
Apparently this party's not providing them with proper food either.
Ongoing subplot is that Lo is just hungry in this book.
Yeah. So throughout this whole bit too, Gareth, and before they ever left, Garrison had been working on something for Daisy, and we did not know what it was that he was working on. And also Connor has been kind of eyeing him throughout this whole scene too, with what Garrison is doing. But we learn he has been, I don't know exactly what computery things he's doing, but essentially if Cleo and Harper, Daisy's 2 ex-friends, ever try and contact her, they will be spammed with porn.
Yeah, because the way Daisy kept blocking their numbers because they were sending her really hateful, harassing messages and calling her and everything. Then she had them, you know, blacklisted in the gated community and all this stuff, but they were still somehow getting access to her. So now Garrison has taken over, and yeah, he's finally done it. A little bit of revenge, but also just protection for Daisy.
Yes, and she feels so relieved by the fact that like these girls will never be able to contact her again. That's all she wants. Garrison also gets on some of them for their weak passwords.
Yeah, Lily. Oh, Lily.
I love Lily. I can't miss this. Your passcodes took 30 seconds to hack. It's not anything familiar to anyone, I promise. It is, though. Your favorite movie is X-Men First Class. You said it in an interview, which is public knowledge. You can't use 2011 X-Men as your password. Lily's like, shh, shh. People are hear you. It's her work password. Garrison promises that he'll help her. She's so cute, but Garrison promises he'll help her make a new, stronger password. Yes. Connor then asks Garrison, he's like inquiring about all of this, that Garrison taught himself code, because we haven't really seen too much of Garrison's smarty pants side. He is very smart when it comes to computers, but like throughout most of the series, or at least when we first were introduced to him, he was just kind of this, I don't want to call him a bum, but like
he was doing some delinquent behavior.
Yes, a delinquent teenager kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now that he's found a better group of people, it's coming out more. We'll learn in bad rep. He's always had that, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think most of what we've seen in him in this book is, him and Willow have finally started dating.
Yes.
I think they've had their first kiss, and also Garrison won the Superheroes and Scones and Hallway Comics competition to design your own like character. And he chose a really, really incredible character. But that's kind of all we've seen from him on his kind of job side. And now we're seeing that he's also this technical genius.
Yes. So he also had like graduated from high school. No, not at this point. He's still in high school because he had to repeat his senior year. But Connor, again, very interested. He wants to know about Garrison learning code, why he enjoys coding, which is just that, what is it?
Says code makes sense to me.
Yeah, I like it. Code makes sense to me. Does there need to be another reason? Or it was, you taught yourself code. Why did you teach yourself code? I like it. Code makes sense to me. Throughout this, it's a conversation between A and B, Garrison and Connor, and the rest of the group is eavesdropping. They're like, anyone else think Connor looks like he farted or something? And they're all laughing at him. And Connor looks over like, I can't hear what you're saying, but I know for sure you're laughing at my expense. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they notice Rose has run into somebody who's trying to hit on her, and she's very much not interested.
Like another sleazy guy.
Yes, there are a lot of sleazy guys at this. I think they mentioned that it's like very guy heavy at this party. There aren't a lot of girls.
I feel like I would immediately turn around and leave.
Yeah, but so this guy's hitting on Rose, super sleazy. It winds up with her throwing her water on him. He gets pissed, throws and like tries to fight Rose. Connor defends her. And the guy is still such an ass. And he's like, she was hitting on me. She was coming on to me first. As
if there aren't like 8 people watching them.
Right. And Daisy's like, why is it that the guy always blames the girl? What is that about? I just really like this line. It kind of reminds me of something from Burn Bright. But I like this line from Connor where he says, normally I wouldn't even waste words on someone who I find parochial and meaningless, but maybe I pity you just enough to say this. In the next 2 centuries, my wife and I will still exist. We will live beyond you, through minds and words and hearts. If that makes you feel weak and insignificant, then maybe you should reevaluate your own stance in the world and not attempt to beat at mine with 2 flailing hands.
He doesn't need to punch the guy. He doesn't need to do anything. He just, him and his words.
The guy flips him off and was like, we.
It is pathetic. He was like, I have nothing to say, so I'm just going to do like this. And then
right. Yeah. So then Daisy overhears these girls talking about some people have snuck into the party. Again, there are no bodyguards, like not even other people's bodyguards are there. So security's feeling a little weak. These people have snuck into the party. They had backpacks. They don't know what are in those backpacks. Could be anything. And so the group decides they want to bail on this party. And Daisy turns to look for Reich, and Reich is missing, and so is Lily.
And also she tries to text him because she's noticed he's gone.
Yes.
And there's no cell service.
Right. Cell service is really poor in this house. So then the next chapter is Reich. He's He saw Lily needing to go to the bathroom, so he followed after her without her asking him to. He just like, he wants to make sure everyone's safe. He wants to make sure
Yeah.
Lily was safe.
And I think it does say like Lily needed to go to the bathroom so badly, that's why she didn't wait to be like, Lo, will you come with me, or like anything like that. She was like, I gotta go now.
Yeah. And they're like poking through all of these rooms and accidentally come across some couple having sex. But Reich does reminisce like how far they've come, which is really crazy because usually, like when I first was rereading the series, I didn't always go all the way back to the beginning of the books, like the very beginning of the series, because it was those were heavy books and I didn't like seeing them at their low points, so I never really picked those up to reread. So I would reread like Long Way Down and Feel the Fire, and I'd always forget how much Reich and Lily butt heads in the beginning, like that they didn't get along, which yeah, it was so crazy to me because like in these books they're like brother and sister. They've gotten really close. And we love to see it. He's like, I've learned a lot since then, and I'm a better fucking person because of Lily Calloway.
So cute.
But yeah, so Lily does find a bathroom, and he
We'll
goes into the
say,
bathroom.
like, Lily does
I don't.
say they're like trying, he's like Reich's like propelling her along the corridor, being like, let's just
Yes.
open all the doors, blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah.
Lily's like, is someone following us? Or is that a shadow? And
Yes.
then Reich's like, there's no one in the hallway. He checks, but then, they continue trying to find a bathroom. So
Yeah. It's also brought
a
up.
note.
Yeah, like at the very end of the conversation, it's also brought up that like Lily has also finally come to terms with this rumor. Like it was something that she hated seeing, like in Kiss the Sky. She did not like being accused of being like a cheater, that she would sleep with Lo and Reich because like her sex addiction, like with her sex addiction, it was really important for her to stay monogamous with Lo. And she doesn't like that people would continue to paint her as something that she's not. She has now come to terms with like the fact that they're going to say what they say, but she knows the truth and she's comfortable enough with that. What she's worried about is how it will affect Mafi and Reich's kid.
Yeah. Like, that's what Reich says. He says, as much as it kills me, as much as I want to say I don't fucking care, I really have no idea what these kind of headlines will do to our kids. Even if they let it go, will their classmates? Because obviously we know how the core 6, the core 8's classmates have treated them, or their peers, their friends at college. This is something that will, is very likely to stay with them forever. As we, having read the Leica series, know, it unfortunately does stay.
Yeah. So then they find a bathroom and Reich does notice so in the chapter before, it was 5 guys snuck into the party with backpacks. And Reich looks behind him and he sees 5 guys in black clothes and zombie makeup show up in the hallway. So Reich goes into the bathroom with Lily, and Lily's like, why are you in here? I have pee fright. This is my private moment. It was so nice having this like moment of growth with you, but like, please leave. I don't want to pee with you in here. But yeah, so they're like hiding out in this bathroom while Lily.
Yeah, and there's still no cell service.
Right. So they're hoping these guys are not there for them. They're just going to leave, but they walk out of the bathroom and are hit.
The guys are like right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Which that's just freaking terrifying. And the fact that they're like in Halloween makeup too would just scare the shit out of me.
Yeah. Like, I think they're like, they open the door and they're like right there, and it's like, ew. So they have nowhere to go.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like the only thing, if you had like uber fast reflexes, is you would just shut the door in their face. But you're trapped in the bathroom then, and there's no cell service.
Right. Yeah.
So there's like no way out of the situation.
So they get hit with a flower bomb. So Lily and Reich are now ticked off the list. They've been flower bombed too.
At least Willow and Garrison haven't been.
Yes.
That's like all we can cling to.
Yeah. But it's like
they're
on their
like
face.
I think it's in their mouth as well.
Yeah. And they're like trying to rinse it off, but they're feeling, Reich feels off, and Lily starts seeing, she's like, sees a cat in the window or something. It looks like it sounds like she's hallucinating. So
Yeah, and I think
it's like
Reich
tipping off.
recognizes it because he tried it as a teenager.
Yes, yes. Okay, there it is. He's like feeling there's something he can taste, there's something else in the flour, and it's Coke. They've been flour and Coke bombed, which
Which is just, yeah.
so many boundaries. So many boundaries crossed. The fuck.
Also, I have to think, like, the levels you have to hate these people to go and buy Coke, which, like, isn't cheap, and then to waste it. Like, well, I mean, like, not that anyone wants to use, we're not promoting drug use here, but in that case, it's like you're buying it, so I would assume you had to know someone to get it, and then you're effectively wasting it just because you want to cause these people, like, the levels of, I feel like it's such like psychomania to hate these people you don't even truly know, to go to such lengths to do this. Like,
And
what's wrong with
the
you?
scary thing too, like, yes, it's expensive. Who says they're splurging on like the really good stuff too?
Yeah,
Like they could, there's no way to know that they didn't just get something that could be laced with anything else. Like you don't know what the heck is in there, you know, which makes this even more dangerous. It's just,
exactly.
God.
And also because I don't think the flower bombers are trying to kill them. I think they're just
No,
trying to do all of this. But you could kill someone with cocaine. You have no idea how that person will react to it. I don't know if you can be allergic to
absolutely.
it, but like you could definitely die through this. And it's just like
Right. And Lily and
the
Reich
logic.
are very different. Like Reich is big, but Lily's small, and like who knows what dosage they're getting. Like yeah, it's just
Haley, this is a
very
scientist and
dangerous.
us coming out being like thinking about all of these things. But genuinely, I feel like none of the flower bombers, none of the haters ever use any logic.
No, never.
It's just I always think that though when it's a hate, I'm like, it's so much energy and effort from your side to write a nasty comment, to make a sign, to go and shout at someone in public. All you can do is unfollow them, block them, scroll away. I'm like,
There are
think,
plenty of
please.
people, things out there that I personally don't like. I'm way too lazy to put in any effort to say that. It's in my noggin. I'll share it with friends if I want to. It goes in the group chat, maybe. Other than
Yeah,
that, like, yeah, I don't get it.
it's so crazy. But yeah, they're very much. I don't know if there's a shower in this bathroom, but they're using like the sink. Oh
I
no,
think
it
it's like a
literally
half
says,
bath.
"We wish we were in a full bath with a shower," because then they could just like rinse themselves off. But they're Reich's helping Lily to like he's saying like rinse your mouth, rinse your face in the sink, and
Yeah.
all of that.
He's also really worried because, like, they don't know where the rest of the group went because they went off on their own. So, did the rest of the group get flower bombed too? Daisy's pregnant.
Yeah,
We don't want her in danger either. The group does wind up finding them, and Connor is the one that, like, he grabs Reich, which I just like seeing this moment of Connor taking care of Reich. That Coke friendship,
yeah.
that Coke romance. It's a better kind of Coke, guys.
But they're definitely like both of them are kind of hallucinating. They're very like out their
Yeah.
minds. Reich left his cane behind, and his
He's
so like
still
obviously we
in,
mentioned that
yeah.
he's doing his PT, but he's walking with a cane. He still has a limp. His leg is still completely like it's not anywhere near being recovered.
Right.
But obviously now it's like, super painful, and the coke is not alleviating that pain.
Well, I didn't know. Does the Coke mask the pain for him? He just doesn't pay attention to it while he's walking without his cane
Oh no,
and
that's
can do
true. It says
more.
I'm gonna fuck up my already fucked up leg because I can't feel pain anymore or resistance. But he
Yeah.
says like his
So,
leg isn't strong enough to hold his weight, which is why he had the cane. But now he can't feel anything, so he's likely just gonna, walk as you would, especially when you're like panicking and disorienting.
yeah, so Connor comes and like gets that weight off his leg for him and takes care of him, and I think it's really cute. But it gets scarier because they do tell them they were flour and Coke bombed. So they know what's going on. Everybody is caught up at this point, but they watch as blood starts to trickle out of Reich's nose, and that's incredibly concerning.
That's very stressful.
Yeah.
But we do
So
learn the only good news is that Daisy, Rose, Willow, and Garrison are safely in the limo. Lo and Connor just came back in to find them.
okay.
And
Yeah.
then now we're on chapter 59 in the emergency
They,
room.
yes. The good news is Lily and Reich are okay. They're getting checked out, but there's nothing overly concerning about this. Obviously, Reich's leg is maybe a little more messed up than before, but other than that, they're okay. They're also, Flo is feeling really guilty because the last flower bomber that happened was at Lucky's Diner or on Reich's birthday. Someone tried to flower bomb them, got Connor, and they were able to catch this kid that time. But he was a kid. He was like 12 years old. And Lo said, just let this guy go. Like, he's a kid. I don't want to press charges against a minor like this and wreck this person's life. So they let that guy go. And Lo feels incredibly guilty because if they had, that would have set the precedent for future flower bombers. Don't fucking do this because we'll catch you and you'll get charged. It's a deterrent. And obviously that didn't happen. These people weren't deterred and they ratcheted up a level. So like Lo's feeling really guilty about that. And they're all trying to ease his worry about it.
Yeah. Was it Connor who was flower bombed in the diner?
Yeah, it was. They
So
were
it was
throwing it
Lo
at
who was
Lo.
flower. Yeah.
Lo was flower bombed in the grocery store.
Yeah. Then
Yeah,
Rose on the
Rose was.
slopes. Daisy in the New Year's Eve crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. Like, how did they find her? Because she left the party to go to a convenience store, and there was
I want
just
to know how all of these
these
people find them ever.
psychos.
It's way too creepy. Lily and Reich. Lily and Reich at the Halloween party. Yes.
You don't have to
Though
leave that in. I was just trying to remember.
no, that's fine. It's a good recap. The cops show up and they say they've detained 3 men that matched the descriptions that they gave them. Oh, but when the police show up, it's so cute. I'm sorry. Lily's just like, are they gonna come and arrest me? And I was like, it wasn't your coke, silly. Yes, you
Aww.
consumed coke, but it was not purposeful. You're not in trouble.
Because also they're like Lily and Riker are okay, and they're in the hospital, but they're still like the coke is not out their system completely. So the police are like, we need descriptions because I think they said they've got 3 20-year-old men who fit the description that your friend gave us, but they're here for like Lily and Reich statements. And Lily's
Yes.
giving her description, and but they had zombie masks on, and the police are like, we need serious statements. And Reich's like, they were zombies. And the police lose a bit of color and whisper amongst themselves, like they believe that they were real.
But yeah, they actually caught a bunch of guys that are dressed like frat bros. So not the
Doesn't
zombies.
feel,
These
yeah.
yeah, these guys have slipped away again. And then this is the bit where Lo feels guilty about letting the guy go. So with that, Daisy
She has an
kind of
idea.
yes, how does she put it? I'm really tired. I'm tired of being seen as an object, as less than human, as an emotionless, soulless being. Whether you want to believe it or not, you're all viewed that way too. Beyond us, how many people saw Lily afraid to leave her house for months because of the media, because people took pictures and made comments at her? How many people know what my friends did to me? How many people know what Paris was like for us? I know it's hard to talk about, but maybe it's time we tell them our story. They all say yes, like right away. You need to think about it.
I like the way
And
Daisy says it as well, because just like in the middle, I think this is her like internal monologue while she's speaking to the group. She says, we've all been paddling in the same sinking boat. They're drowning us, and I'm ready to scream as loudly as I can until they hear me, and see what you've done to us. And I think again, like we've talked a lot about how just it is really touching and really like beautiful to see Daisy claiming her own voice, speaking up for herself and wanting to be heard. And this is like the culmination of it all.
It is, yes. And so they're like, do you have this idea? Are there any other details that you have? And they don't want to do a reality show anymore. Daisy's thinking like it's like documentary style. And they never want to return to GBA. GBA has burned them way too many times. And also, this is where it's mentioned that like, GBA had rights to anything that they put on network television, and that contract was null and void once Scott was arrested.
So they're free
But they,
now.
yeah, but they never want to return to GBA. They burned them way too many times. So they want to go somewhere a little more uncensored,
Serious.
like HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
They
so
all
cute
start
because they,
chiming in,
yes,
and like, so they've all kind of said, like we say, like they all say yes, but it's very, very collaborative. This is Daisy's idea, but once she explains it, they all start kind of being like, oh, we'll do it this way, we'll do it this way. Like, definitely,
yeah,
like, it's very cohesive.
yes. So like they're going to produce the show. They'll have complete control of the edits, unlike before. They don't have, they're going to interview each other. If they don't feel like filming a certain day, then they don't have to. It can be on their own timeline, however they want to do it.
Low. Oh,
You think this will help? Because there's a lot here. There's a lot here. And he starts crying, and Daisy says, you and Lily haven't hurt us. You've given us so much more out of life. It's only about their actions, not the repercussions of your addictions. Please, please believe that, Lo.
yeah. I think I said that in my very first review, where I was like, there are small moments between like Lo and Daisy, like brother and sister, and Connor and Daisy, and they're very few and far between, but they're so touching when they are there.
Yeah, I savor the
Super
moments.
special.
So Lo's on board and he says, what are we calling this docuseries thing? And they all begin to smile.
I love it. It's like
I wonder what
I
they'll
feel an
call it.
immense, yeah. It's like I feel an immense weight lift from the entire room. I'm like, oh, from like one of their worst nights.
Yeah,
There's something
really
really
bad
good.
night. Yes,
And this
something
definitely
really
feels
bad.
like the start of the upward journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've had a lot of ups and downs with this book, and just from the last, however many years, I don't actually know how many years it's been, but this feels like they're on an upward trajectory now.
Yeah. Has it been like
So it's
6 years maybe?
yeah,
I
I'm
think
trying to think.
it's 20. This is
What
Halloween
do we think? How old is
2017.
Daisy?
Daisy's
Daisy's
21.
now.
It's been six
Hold on.
years.
So it says 4 years, and that's from the prologue, which was when they were in, I don't know,
Well,
Mexico or something.
this is Lo's
So
27th
yeah,
birthday. Lo's
yeah, it's
27th
been
birthday
like
and his
6 years.
21st birthday was Addicted to You. So it's been 6 years.
Perfect. Oh, right, that makes sense because what book do they go to Mexico in? Is it Addicted for Now?
That's the first time
And
they go to Mexico. Well, they go to Mexico a lot. They went to Mexico in Ricochet, but the trip with
right.
all of them was Addicted for Now.
Oh, okay, right. Cool. That makes sense
All
then.
right. Okay. So, chapter 60. I don't. Yes, now it's the 3rd of February. So, it's been several months since the Halloween party at this point. And it's Reich, Daisy, Lily, and Lo in one vehicle. They're following Rose's Escalade, and there's someone on their tail. It's raining really hard, too. But they're on their way somewhere important. And Daisy's feeling really pregnant. I think she's 37 weeks at this point. I'm pretty certain they say that at one point. But she's very pregnant, and Reich is driving very carefully. One, because it's raining. There are all of these cars around them, but also like he doesn't want to hurt Daisy or anything. He thinks back. There were times where he was maybe not the safest driver, having a pregnant person as his passenger.
Yeah.
He's learned his lesson, but they it like brings up this idea. It sounds so morbid to say, but it like brings up this idea of death. And Daisy then says like, by the way, guys, as in Lily and Lo, if anything were to happen to me and Reich, you guys would be the new parents of this baby. So in Field of Fire, we saw all of them like decide who the godparents were going to be. Rose and Connor are the godparents to Lily and Lo's kids. Reich and Daisy are the godparents to Rose and Connor's kids. And now Lily and Lo are going to be the godparents to Daisy and Reich's. So I think I said that right, where it's like a little triangle. Nobody gets
Yeah.
left out.
Oh, wait, I feel like I didn't really get that maybe when I read it last because it's all of their kids. I definitely get reminded about that in like the Like Us series, that it's that they're the godparents for like all of their children.
Right. It's not an individual kid,
That
which
makes
is
way more
why
sense.
Rose and Connor picked Reich and Daisy, because they want to have a lot of kids and they weren't sure if Lily and Lo would be able to handle a potential
12 kids.
brood of.
Yeah. How many would it be? It'd be 11. That's crazy. Could
A lot
you,
of kids.
I mean, I don't want to imagine that.
No.
No. Anyway, sorry, that was just
Lily's
me trying
very
to remember.
emotional about it. She's like, I thought you'd like, it was a lot that you were gonna leave Coconut with us, but like your baby, we're the fuck ups of the family. And they're like, no.
I love it. And Reich reinforces it. We believe in you and Lo, and you're both amazing fucking parents.
They are. So they get to the courthouse. That's where they're going. And it's mentioned that like Daisy is feeling, she's 37 weeks. She's feeling pain, and she is articulating that she's feeling pain, which is something that Reich kind of concerns Reich, because she has been basking in all of this. Like, she's wanted to be pregnant for so long, and so she's really been enjoying all of these moments and not taking them for granted at any point. So the fact that it is she is feeling pain and can't really turn it into a moment of gratitude is kind of a concerning sign for Reich. Of she's like really
The pain
feeling
must be
it right
really
now.
bad at that point. Yeah.
And he tells her, like, you can externally show how you're feeling. If you're not feeling well, you don't have to put on a face. But she still smiles, and he's like, well, maybe that is how she's feeling.
I think also because it's, like Rose had her limo baby, Daisy doesn't want to have a courthouse baby
No.
or a car baby or anything.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoilers, that's where we are.
Yes. She starts like walking ahead of him, again, very pregnant. She's walking backwards. It's raining. He's like, please don't hurt yourself. So he like speeds up to catch up with her. And it's noted that he's not really walking with a limp anymore. Because it's been several months at this point of him being in recovery and physical therapy and rehabbing his leg. And like, he still does experience pain. There are times when his leg feels stiff and he can't stretch as far as he used to, but he is healing. He'll never be where he was, but he's getting somewhere better than he had been. And he says, I just have to be the one to push through. I have to want it. Lo might have been right. A part of me died 7 months ago, but I still have my legs and I'm going to run. Maybe it'll fill the void inside me, because there's still something missing.
But we find out that the news, because there's paparazzi as always there, and they're questioning them about the documentary series, questioning about like what they can expect, who will be in it and everything. They don't give any answers, but we do obviously find out that the public knows now. Because I think, it's been 4 months since that was obviously in Halloween when they discussed it.
Yeah. November, December, January. Yeah.
Yeah. And they say that they approached a premium cable channel, and the contract just went through.
Okay. But it's that thing again where some people are annoyed now. Like, people had been harassing them. Why aren't you doing another reality show? We want you on TV. And now that they're being like, yeah, we're coming back to TV, they're like, why are they being on TV? We don't want them on TV. They'll never be able to please anybody.
That's, I think, is so crazy. And I mean, obviously it goes to show that it wasn't like it wasn't like every single person wanted them to do it, but it is just like, crazy. But it's really nice to note that everything they asked for, they got. They have complete control. They're the producers. They get to say what's aired. So this will be exactly what they want.
Yes. And so they finally meet up with like Rose and Connor in the courthouse. Well, so they've met up with everybody at this point. I like this moment where Rose is like asking Daisy how she feels, because Daisy says like when she stands up, she was saying it earlier, that when she stands up, it feels like the baby is like sitting down there, and it hurts, and she was like gearing up for that pain, but Rose has been checking on her, and Reich is like, shouldn't you be telling your sister, like giving her better platitudes? And she's like, no, my sister is is pregnant and she is allowed to complain. That is like the beauty of pregnancy, that you get to complain about the pain and you're not allowed to tell her that she can't, because you like revel in the fact that you don't have to like push this baby out of your body.
Yeah,
Are
so
you
they get
reveling in my
into,
torment? Not even a fucking little bit.
it's always so cute. And I love that because obviously we said back at the Halloween scene that we weren't going to do like, because there was a lot to cover, we weren't going to talk about every single thing. Krista and Becca do such an amazing job at having all this banter and all this like really cute, but also meaningful, but also touching, but also just very humorous one or two liners between all the characters where you just see so insanely deeply like how connected this family is, these like found family, these friends. It's just like it's so perfect.
Yes. It like, so even in just like a quick one liner, it encapsulates each character's personality just so beautifully. You're like, yeah,
Exactly.
that's 100% these characters. It makes so much sense. You get so much depth out of the characters and even just their banter. But yeah,
So good.
so we we start to learn why they're at the courthouse. It is establishing Jonathan as Willow's father. Like, obviously they know technically he is her father. Obviously biologically he is her father, but like they need to go through the legal process of him being able to call her, or call her his daughter, so that he can put her on like his health insurance. There are certain things that she is now feeling more comfortable being able to accept from Jonathan, because she didn't want any handouts when we last saw her. But they mentioned that it's been like for like the past year, Willow has been calling Jonathan dad, and she gives Reich a small gift, but it's a picture of what she gives Reich is a picture of Lo, Reich, and Willow on the, I think they're on the deck of the lake house, the big family lake house. And she's labeled them on the back, and she's labeled herself as Willow Hale. And he's like, you're changing your name. She's no longer going to be Willow Moore. And it's pending, but that is her intention, is to change her name to Willow Hale. And then after that, Connor's like, I need to talk to you. And he is referring to Garrison. So we saw in the Halloween scene that he was very interested in what Garrison was doing, and Connor wants to invest in Garrison. He doesn't have any specific thing in mind that he wants him to do, but he wants Garrison to create something. Create whatever Garrison wants, Connor's going to back it, because he sees that there's a lot of potential in Garrison. And also, so we said that Garrison was still in high school. Back at the Halloween scene, he has graduated. He had like an extra semester. So he has graduated, I believe, at this point.
Yeah. It's really cute. He says you need someone who believes in you.
Yes, he does.
Garrison really does need like these positive figures.
He does. He really does. But so Garrison has no plans to go to college. So like this can be his next big step, but it's scary because it means he has to stay in Philly. Like, he's still just a kid. And Connor's like, yeah, you have to be in Philly. You've never created a startup before. I have to be there to like help guide you through this. You have to stay here. But we find out that Willow is going to be going to college, and she's going to London
She's coming to see
for
me.
school. Yeah, she's going to go see Zoe.
But yeah,
But
she's choosing to do a very like brave, adventurous thing and
yeah,
travel really far for herself. But yeah, it's really sad because Reich notes that obviously if Garrison takes this incredible offer, they wouldn't be together for 4 years. Which is a very long time.
and it's so hard because Willow's like really, she can recognize this is a big opportunity for Garrison. I just want the best for you. The best for me is to be with you. I'm a better fucking person when I'm with you. Don't be afraid. You can do anything on your own. I know you can. They say I love you. They're so cute.
But also, this is, I don't know, because obviously we see it in Bad Rap, but I don't know if we've seen it before in this book. When Garrison
Yeah.
says, no matter where we are, you're always going to be my girl.
Yes. I think he sent her a GIF earlier in the book from the movie, but we never actually saw him call her my
Yeah.
girl. I think this is the
This is the
first.
first time. They're so, so cute.
They are. And then Judge approaches the bench, and it is time for this. During all of that, Daisy was like, oh, are we exchanging gifts? I gotta go out to the car and get my gift for Willow. So all of the sisters had left at this point and had just gotten back. So they weren't able to exchange gifts, but now everybody is back and Daisy has something that she wants to give to Willow, but she has to wait because is it a hearing is starting?
Yeah. So it's basically just them. It was noted when everyone entered that the judge wasn't there yet, but it was, Willow and Jonathan are there, and like some other guy is just sat in the back on his phone. And we
Right.
find out that this is Robert Moore. So it's just him, the core eight, and Jonathan, and the judge.
Yes.
And I assume like the judge's police officer.
Yeah.
But there's no one else, so that's good. It's like a closed hearing.
Yes. And basically, this judge wanted Robert present because Jonathan has a lot of money. She wants to figure out whether Robert is being like coerced, bribed, anything into giving up his paternity. And he's incredibly rude about the entire thing.
Yeah. He's just horrible.
He's so horrible. He just insults Willow at any opportunity that he can. It's so obvious that he was never Willow's dad. And there's a bit where he's like, no one in my family wears glasses. And it was good for you, dick fucker. Or no, it's Reich says dick fucker. Lo says gold star for you, motherfucker.
Also, we should know that Jonathan, like, immediately is defending Willow. Obviously, they've known each other for kind of a year now, and Willow's been calling him dad, and they're close and everything. But yeah, like, Jonathan is very much.
It is sweet to see
I'm actually
him
trying to find the line.
because he says like she has no friends, she dresses like a boy. He's saying all of these horrible things about she doesn't like act like any kid of mine. She's practically mute half the time. She dresses more like a boy than a girl. She has no friends, and the entire group stands up and they're like, we're here. It's so sweet. I love
And there's a little
Sexist
Willow and
stuff.
Daisy moment, and I just love their friendship as well.
My one true friend.
But yeah, so Jonathan asks, "Can I say something, Your Honor?" He's raised his hand like he's in the classroom. I think he's been very much holding himself back. He's being respectful to the judge, and the judge lets him. And he looks to Robert and he's like, "Don't ever insult my daughter again, you microscopic prick." And the judge interrupts her and he continues, "In the 17 years that she was with you, did you ever even talk to her? Did you know that she's charismatic when you discuss things that interest her? Maybe you should have seen a goddamn movie with her." The judge again tries to interrupt him like, "Mr. Hale, instead of sitting around on your ass, you scum of this planet." And he just fixes his suit like very nonchalantly.
Yep.
And the judge is like, "Mr. Hale," slams the gavel down. He's like, I'm done.
I said my piece.
Yeah, I love it. It's very, very effective and like as
Yes.
powerful as like going and like punching him in the face.
Yes, Robert has taken 5 steps backwards, but they make it official that Jonathan is now legally and biologically Willow's dad. And the judge, you get the sense that the judge is not, even though she was yelling at Jonathan, she's not a fan of Robert.
Yeah.
Good for you, Willow. I'm glad that this man is not your dad in any
Yeah,
sense.
the way it sounds like she eyes Robert and we're like, we know what she's thinking.
Yeah. So after that, Daisy's able to give Willow her present, and we all need a little protection sometimes, which was something that it was very similar to what Willow had said to Daisy a long time ago at this point. Like, it was still in this book, but it was
A year.
over a year at this point, like a year and a half at least, when they were at the Fro Yummy and Cleo and Harper had shown up unexpectedly and Willow had defended her, but she had said something similar to Daisy at that point and had given her a pinky ring that was like Tilly Stazor's, which is a character from Howley Comics.
But it's really cute. Daisy's been wearing Willow's ring, and now Daisy is gifting Willow her own identical ring. So they'll have matching ones, like friendship bracelets.
So cute. And And she shows her picture of a cabin at Camp Calloway. Because Daisy had named all of these cabins like Orange Daisy, Pink Lily, Yellow Rose, Red Poppy after all of her sisters.
And now there's a green willow.
So cute.
They are sisters. She's the
Yes,
fifth
they
Calloway
are.
sister.
She's the honorary Calloway sister. We got our little
Yeah.
willow branch.
Oh my god, yeah. I literally can't twist my arm the right way.
Here we go.
Cute.
Our little willow branch up there.
Aww. But I love how Daisy ends the chapter. Friends might not be forever, but maybe friends that you view as family have long-lasting powers, destined to stick around.
Yes.
Aww.
I love that. I love how it, like, that theory that she had that friends don't last forever, all the way from Hothouse Flower. I love seeing how it's evolved. That, like, she's been proven wrong a little
Yeah,
bit.
this friendship is an exception.
Yes. Chapter 62. Yeah, so the day before had been February 3rd. Today's February 4th. Kind of an important day. We'll find out why. It's in my head. I know the days. But
They're very
Daisy,
important days to us.
yes. Daisy has been taking Greg on a tour of Camp Calloway today, and she's shown him. She's so cute. She's like, I just need the forest to play nice for him. Best impressions, everyone.
So cute.
But she's like shown him all of the cabins. She's talking about like the different programs that she wants to do, that like they're all going to be all of these different activities. And she also talks about how she really wants, like, obviously there are kids that will love summer camp, and obviously she wants to make it super fun for them. But she talks about how, like, Willow had mentioned that if her mom had ever had money, she would have sent Willow to summer camp too, but Willow would have been miserable because she's not as
Like,
extroverted.
yeah, or like, what is it use?
Socially inclined. I don't.
Yeah, or like active. So I think Daisy's also saying like there's other
She's going to
activities.
make sure that it's fun for those types of kids too. She wants everyone to have fun, and like the whole thing that she really wants to focus on is just like making this a space to find friendship and enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah. This is great. Obviously
And
there's rock climbing and kayaking, all these like very outdoorsy things. But she's also like
yes.
there's arts and crafts and acting and just more like we said, I feel like she's thought of everything and it's like very well suited to a massive range so that everyone can
Yeah.
be comfortable, which is really what she wants.
Yeah. And the entire time Greg is just sort of like nodding, and she cannot get a real sense of what he's thinking. And Reich is there with her too. He's helping, or like he's accompanying them while
Yeah.
they're doing
I think
this
he
tour.
probably drove. I think they drove separately. So Reich
Yeah.
drove Daisy. But yeah, like I think she knows that Greg doesn't always say a lot, but he's saying nothing. And she offers like, do you want to see the inside of the cabin? And he's like, no. And she's trying to salvage, saying, you know, like, I've only used this much of the land that I've bought, and we've passed inspections, and we're already fully booked. So like, it's very successful.
At this point,
But she
yeah.
can't read what he's feeling. And then he's like, he turns from looking at the cabins to look at Daisy and gives her a full smile, saying, it's really spectacular, Daisy. He says, I'm going to be frank. I didn't think you'd finish this. Both your mother and I thought you threw your money at all this land and you'd give up the idea after a few months. But I'm proud of what you've accomplished here, that you've stuck to your vision. It's just so cute.
Yes. We love that they can recognize they can continue to learn. Greg and Samantha need to like learn about how much their daughter has grown, because that was one thing
Yeah.
in that other episode where they're like, Daisy, you're not the kind of girl that wants to have a baby. Like, this is like just a passing trend for her. No,
I feel like they view her like she's 15 or something.
right. No, she tried so hard and went through so many emotional ups and downs trying to get pregnant. And then she talks about how she's put so much time and effort and energy into making this a lucrative camp. Like, she's not some flighty kid anymore. She's grown and is an adult and is like making these big moves and is being successful at it, because of course she is. Just, yeah,
Greg and
They
Samantha
talk
are
about it, and
just,
I'm just here like, do you really know Daisy? This isn't a surprise to me. Why is this such a surprise to you?
yeah. But I feel
But
like they
Daisy,
don't really know any of their daughters, so
this is
they're
true.
just not. They're just
They just understand them at like a surface level. But she's yawning a lot during this. She's really tired. I think, does she say, she says she slept an hour last night. I don't know what caused her to sleep an hour, but I have to imagine like some of it is the baby keeping her up.
yeah, because she notes that the baby's kicking. You think she's in pain, the baby is active, and obviously Daisy struggles to sleep anyway.
Yeah, so it's really cute. They're like, they've decided that they're done with the tour. They're gonna head back.
Oh my God.
It's so cute. I should be head or like, will you lead the way, Daisy? Of course, forward and she's like, this is the point where you say onward, Dad, and he goes onward, but forward and onward, just something to remember for later.
But it's cute. It's very much, it feels like her relationship with Greg is in a good place.
Healing. Yes. Yeah. And Reich, like, she turns to Reich and he's staring at, she says, the way he's staring at me steals my breath. What is it? I wonder. There's no fucking way our baby won't love you. So cute.
It's so cute.
I wonder if he can feel happiness flowing through me. I wonder if he can see how much his love empowers me, makes me feel invincible, incredible. Daisy Petunia Meadows, the girl who can say yes and no, who can flap her wings and fly. So it starts raining on them.
Yeah, I think it's storming. There's thunder and lightning. And they're like, okay,
Yeah.
time to go.
Yeah, time to get out of here. And as they're walking back, all of a sudden, Daisy's water breaks. I think she feels pain.
Yeah.
And it like causes her to pause for a second. And as they pause, then that's when her water breaks. So Baby Meadows is on the way now. And they are in the wilderness. And
Yeah.
as it has been mentioned throughout the book, well, yeah, it's been mentioned throughout the book that like if Daisy were to conceive naturally and carry the baby, it would be a high-risk pregnancy for her. She's meant to have a baby in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, there's no doctors, there's no equipment. It's not the same as Rose having Jane in the limo.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, it's like her dad's still there. He is like, I'll call an ambulance to meet you at the parking lot, and I think
Yeah,
goes
he runs
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah. And I think at some point, she can't really, Daisy's really struggling to walk. Right carries her.
Because,
Yeah.
are you okay? Don't fucking ask me. Yeah, because he has his, obviously, his leg, but he's like, nah, I'm carrying you. Picking up Daisy. So she's asking, are you okay? He goes, don't fucking ask me that. You're the one in labor. It's already amazing. I love her attitude.
Yeah. She's just so happy to be having her baby.
And Reich says, didn't you have a theory about the fucking woods? Magical things happen in the woods.
And that has been proven right very many times.
Yes. Yes. So they're happy, but they are like concerned because yes, she is high risk. And I just like the way this chunk ends with, I've always fucking loved you in my arms. He carries her in Paris. He'll carry her here. He'll carry her always. Yeah, so now they're in the ambulance. They are on their way to a hospital, but like I think it's an hour away. Yeah, 40 minutes to an hour away until they get to a hospital.
Yeah. Obviously, it's still storming, so that's delaying them.
Right. There's a 19-year-old paramedic in this ambulance. It is his first day. It's his third day. It's his third day on the job. He's starstruck. He's like, are you Daisy Calloway? It's Daisy Meadows now.
But, there's two other paramedics who have a bit more experience. Yeah. So we're like, okay, they're no longer alone. So the ambulance made it okay.
Mm-hmm. We have a little bit of hope. But I think one of the paramedics gets out their phone and is like trying to call a doctor. Because they say they've only delivered a baby once. Yeah, and I'm going to put a doctor on the line. And Reich's like, are we not going to make it to the hospital?
They're like, I don't think so. I'm like, that's not encouraging. But, at least there's enough, like, network connection that they can actually, because I think the call goes through to the doctor. So I'm like, okay, one thing's going right. Thank God.
Right. And, like, they're scared. Daisy's like, what if it's a stillbirth? I think that's the worst. That is their worst outcome. So she starts to feel nerves. Like she had been kind of enjoying the idea of having the baby, but now that like it's becoming very real that they're not making it to a hospital, it's getting scary. But it's their mantra, 150 miles an hour. No brakes. Never any fucking brakes. I love it. I live for now, and I chase, and I run, and I howl. And every second, every detail, I could raise my arms in the air again. I could say, this is me. I exist in this great big world. So then the EMT is like, yeah, you gotta lean up against something. It's time to push. So Daisy does successfully give birth. They wipe off the baby a little bit, and just a little bit to hand her over. And here's your girl. They wanted that girl so badly.
I'm so happy for them.
I love it.
And they're
We
so
made
cute.
this.
And Reich is so cute with them. Like, because he's sat behind Daisy because he was what she was leaning against. And they just,
Yes.
it's just the cutest parts. Where they're like, I've never loved anything fucking more than you and her. And they're soothing her, like, hey there.
Taking a lot of fucking love to have you.
This is like, I can feel it teeming all around us. This tremulous, earth-stomping joy.
And then she says, hey there, Sullivan Mini Meadows.
And Sully lifts like her arm to say, that's me.
We love our Sully girl.
Yeah. And Reich and Daisy just
Reich
staring at each other because, yeah, it's such a. He's like,
very tender moment. God. And then she says, I'm lightheaded, but I hang on to him while the world recedes. I see us racing through golden stalks, my arms whipping along. And then I reach into the air. The orange horizon warms my body, and I scream madly and happily. Nothing can stop our souls from singing. Nothing can stop our spirits from shrieking. So whatever anyone says, whatever anyone thinks, I've lived so very long. I've been in love. I've been free. I'd like to think no matter where I go, I can still be found. Just look up. I'll be there. That's where I'll be. Every time the sun shines down, maybe you'll think of me. It's very vague what's happening, but we know what's happening.
you can see where it's going, and it's just, yeah.
You flip to the next page, and it's Reich's POV, and he says Daisy's been in surgery for 2 hours. Don't like that.
Especially because they just had this, like, perfect moment before.
Yes.
They were holding their baby, little Sully. They were all so happy, just smiling at each other, enjoying the moment. And then it was like, okay.
You read the next page, and it's Daisy has been in surgery for 2 hours. I can't fucking talk about it to anyone. After all the overcrowding, I've asked her sisters, my brother, and everyone else to just give me some fucking time alone. The nurses have me in a hospital room for the baby, and in case Daisy returns. What the fuck is that in case? I don't like that language at all.
Yeah, why are they saying that? They're like, oh, they should just be like, yeah, this is your room for your wife.
Daisy's not doing well.
No.
And
But Reich's been sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We learned that Daisy hemorrhaged after having Sully, and she lost consciousness. So they brought her into surgery immediately after getting to the hospital, and Reich has been with Sully the entire time.
Yeah, like I just said, Reich.
Fucking less. Oh my god.
You know. And it's like he says, I'll only remember how happy she looked, how happy we were, how happy we are. Because it was.
Yes. So, God, he's like, I've blocked out everything after her eyes shut. I won't ever fucking recall it. I won't let it fucking plague me, eat at me, come back at me. It's gone. But our child doesn't need a father who can't walk, can't breathe, can't eat. If Daisy can't be here, I'm not letting anyone else raise Sullivan but me. So then he does get a couple of visitors. The first one is Price.
Yeah, interesting.
Throughout this book, we've felt questionable things for, like, why are you here? Why is this young bodyguard? Why did Greg hire this young bodyguard? We finally learn. And Price was the one that, like, pressed Greg about this. It wasn't, he, like, initiated that, which is commendable. But it's that Greg wanted a bodyguard that would be with them for a very long time, for the long haul that he would be able to, he's not going to leave in a couple of years. Like, this is something that he'll be in this career for a very long time. So they'll have someone that they can trust and like that they can get to know and build so much trust with over the years. That was the intention. Which, good for you, Greg.
Yeah, maybe it
Some
would
forward
help if you'd
thinking.
said that at the beginning.
Right.
I feel like we would
A
have
little bit.
avoided a lot of conflict. But
It's
it
a whole
is
lot of
really
like,
nice thinking that, you know, he's like, he won't quit in 10 years. He won't age out. He's there to grow
mhm,
with their family.
yes.
And then he leaves
So he
in
leaves.
peace.
This is when it's established that Daisy had named her Sullivan after Adam Sully. And it wasn't something that they had discussed before. He doesn't know if it was like a spur of the moment decision or if she had been thinking about this for a while, but it was a surprise for him to know that that was what they, and I love that, like, it was that, because all the way back in that Tahoe scene where they had been talking about, was it going to be a boy or girl? What's her name going to be? And she was like, you come up with a name. I want you to come up with a name. And he's like, no, this is something like, I want you to be able to come up with the name. And she had decided on Minnie, but even still, she gets to decide on the name. And Reich like, yeah, that's her name, Sullivan Minnie Meadows.
Such a good name.
It is so good. And then Reich gets a second visitor,
And
and
it's Jonathan.
it's so concerning with like the way a lot of this is written as you're reading it. There's a lot of ellipses, and you definitely get the sense that Reich is just like not there. He's like coming in the middle of conversations, and like things are, I really like the way that this is written, where you really get the sense that Reich is just like in this haze, and there's just like some things that are breaking through. But yeah, so Jonathan is there.
Yeah. I think it's again like with Price, you know, like just listened. He's not in the headspace to say anything back.
Right.
Doesn't want to talk to anyone. So Jonathan speaks to Wright, and he acknowledges that he really, really fucked up with how he treated Wright his whole life. He apologizes and acknowledges, you know, that it was all of his actions. But he really takes responsibility for his actions. And,
Yes.
you know, it's pretty terrible that this is the moment that he does it. But we have seen growth from Jonathan in this book. And it is good that he can go to Reich, you know, the child he has the worst relationship with, finally actually give a real sincere apology.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, so then gosh, it's big of Reich too. We can see some growth in him. He doesn't say anything to Jonathan. He never cared, never really fucking understood. To hear that he does, I can't compute it right now. I can't do anything with the apologies at the moment. So I may not be able to tell him now, but this is the past. I can let go. I can forgive again, which is something that he's been struggling with for a long time, being able to forgive Jonathan. And this is a big moment of him, which, you know what, Jonathan can live with the unknown, like the not having a verbal confirmation that Reich has forgiven him, because apparently it's taken this long for Jonathan to say I'm sorry. So he can live with Reich being like, without Reich saying I forgive you, but it's there. And then the nurse. So then Jonathan leaves. The nurse shows up. Sully needs to be fed. She's like offering to take her to the nursery. And Reich's like, no, I want to feed her. If Daisy wanted to breastfeed her, she was looking forward to that. And if she can't, then I'm going to be the one to take care of Sully.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to like be apart from Sully either, which is completely understandable.
Yeah.
Like if the nurse was to take her away to feed her, then he would just be alone with his thoughts.
We don't want that.
No.
And he does ask for updates, and there are no updates. And this is like, so it was 2 hours before Price came in, and you're getting the sense that like Price came in, and then there was some more time, and then Jonathan came in, and then there's more time. So like it's been a long time at this point that Daisy's been in surgery with 0 updates. So Reich gets
Another
one more
visitor. And
then yeah, the chair just sits next to Reich. So we were seeing that the first 2 visitors, they like came in and they wanted to talk with Reich and like kind of have a conversation with him, and Reich is not in the headspace for a conversation right now. Flo knows this. He just comes in and he says, what? You think you're alone or something? I inhale a ragged fucking breath, the weight of this killing me. I can't contain it any fucking longer. I break down and he stretches his arm over my shoulder. I fucking sob because I'm terrified to live a life without her, where the world is nothing but dark and lonely again. I don't know how to be that light for our daughter, but I know I have to fucking try. I know I can't give up. I know I have to be the man that Daisy fell in love with. Like crying into being able to be vulnerable with his brother touches me.
I think this is the hardest chapter in the book, like by far. It's just so.
That's what we were talking about though, because it was like when Sully died and Reich had the accident, we're like, we're this far in. Reich can't die because there's so much more of the book left. Like, obviously he has to be alive. And now we're like only this far left, not including like the bonus chapters. And it's like, oh my God, maybe something is gonna happen to Daisy.
Because actually, if you look at it, like, hold on, that's how much is left in the book. That's when you're like, you see those very relatable tweets or memes when they're like, oh, this has just happened and there's only like 10% of the book left, and you're like, that's not enough for you to fix something. So especially, so like obviously with the new book edition with the bonus scenes, but when you read the first book, like the first edition, and you'd be like, that's all that's left, and you're like, that's not encouraging.
No. And then we get to the next chapter and it's still Reich's point of view, and it's his week old daughter. You're like, oh my God, where is Daisy?
Yes, exactly. But it's very cute between them. Yes. Like Sully's just like staring up with her big eyes at Reich. And Reich's like changing her. I can do this in under a fucking minute, sweetie. She's just so cute, like everything.
He calls Daisy sweetheart, so Sully gets the sweetie.
It's so sweet. And it's very much like you're like going from this chapter where you're just like sobbing and bawling into the book, and then you're like, oh, cute, but you're also like, where's Daisy?
Reich.
What's
Where's
happening?
Daisy?
You're like, I want to enjoy this really cute moment, but someone's missing. How much can I enjoy this?
Right. So he's like in the bathroom. Yeah, in the bathroom. And then he comes into his bedroom and he's being hit in the head with all of these colorful, it was a green paper lantern. And even still, like we saw that Daisy had made origami when Reich had come out of his surgery. But you're not like, there can be part of you that's like, well, maybe Daisy made this before her surgery. We don't know when these went up.
It's their home, right? They're at home.
Yeah, it's their bedroom.
So we're like, it might be that they just have that decoration and it's been mentioned before. Because Daisy makes a lot of paper stuff. It's not specific that she made it now.
Right. But then you get the next line. What a precious little cupcake. That is not something Reich would say.
No. And then we see the words, Daisy's tucked beneath the covers, and we're like, yes! Oh my God.
Thank Connor. Sorry.
It's like Reich literally says, I stare at her like she's a fucking mirage. I think that's how we all said at the page. We were like, oh my God, I can breathe.
Am I dreaming? Is this real? Yes.
Oh.
And we get
it's very, very cute.
Peanut butter cupcake. But yeah, we get Sully's a little peanut butter cupcake. And Reich's like, I thought I was the fucking cupcake. One cupcake makes another cupcake. Isn't your daddy just the most handsome cupcake in the world, Sully?
They're just so cute, and we're like, yay, this perfect little adorable family.
Yes. So we learn that Reich had been changing Sully's diaper. It's really early morning. He had been trying to be quiet because he wants Daisy to sleep because she just had major surgery. She had a total hysterectomy because of those fucking cysts.
But we do learn that they saved any eggs that they could.
Yes, it was, which I think it's mentioned later, like that he had the foresight to think of that. But they said that the EMT, that 19-year-old who was on his third day of the job, was the same blood type as Daisy, and he was able to do a transfusion in the ambulance, and was really like a big factor in why Daisy was able to pull through. So she wants to gift her Ducati to him as like a thank you.
Aw.
And well, if you're not gonna fucking sleep, you watch her for a minute. Such a cruel job. Give it to me always. I flip her off. Daisy says to our baby, that's a sign of love.
You just know that these two are like the funnest parents.
They are. And Reich walks over to this trunk that Daisy has in their room. I know what she's been putting in there, and maybe she thought I had no clue. All this time, I have known. This is where she's kept who I am, in case I went looking for myself again. So he looks back at Daisy, and he's just like so freaking grateful. She's alive. She's a miracle. The fact that they are both pulled through, like that Sully made it into this world. She's healthy and perfect, and Daisy is recovering. She didn't die. It's all just like a miracle to him. After my accident, I missed August. I missed even more of September. I missed these months and a fucking days, and I slept through them. I wandered to no fucking end, and after what happened last week, a common reaction would be to slow down, to play it safe. But I've learned that death is inevitable. I could have lost her. I could have lost my daughter. Yeah. I have another chance at this, and I refuse to waste another fucking minute of my one life. I refuse to be less than the person I know I am. I've woken up. I've seen what I used to see. And he opens up the trunk. It's all of his climbing gear. And beneath them are all of these magazines, his subscriptions to rock climbing magazines. And it's not just like his subscriptions. He's on the cover of these magazines too.
Yeah.
When
It's
I
just
turn
so.
to Daisy, I see her crying with the biggest fucking smile. Thanks for keeping this safe, I tell her. It's not going to be physically easy to start up again, but the hard things are usually the right thing. I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Back to what we were saying before that happened, when I was saying like at Camp Calloway that it was like, it seems, no, that when they were discussing at Halloween and then with Willow and then with Camp Calloway, that it all seems like it's on an upward trajectory. And then obviously we have this devastating like panic and like, is Daisy gonna live? But now they have their beautiful baby. Daisy's alive, she's healthy, and Reich is ready to climb again. Or he's ready to like reclaim that part of himself. So we're very much on this upward trajectory.
Right. And you made that really good point at the end of the last chapter, what Reich said. That last sentence. I know I have to be the man that Daisy fell in love with.
And that
that
is
Daisy-
who, yeah. I feel like I couldn't get the words out. That is who she fell in love with. You know, we've spoken about it so much in all the episodes about this book, especially when it was conversations around Reich's rock climbing. Rock climbing is his soul. That is who he is. So yeah, he's finally ready to take a step back towards it. Oh.
We love it. Okay. Chapter 65.
And it's Daisy's POV this time. Finally returned to her.
They're so cute being mommy and daddy right now. They're washing their baby girl in the kitchen sink. It's bath time.
Yeah.
She's part mermaid, part pirate.
And Reich's got the video camera out. We love that video camera. It's so cute. They want to, you know, memorialize everything.
Like I'm picturing that video camera, like what the kind of camera that I had growing up, but it is 2018.
Yeah. But I mean, it says video camera, so I'm also picturing that old,
yes, that's what I'm
like the one
picturing.
that has the flap that comes out.
Like the little,
But then I want to say, hold on, let me look at this book is definitely written before 2008. Like this was written, yeah, 2015. So we can think, I mean, there were iPhones then, but still, we choose to believe it's a like proper old video camera.
That's exactly what I'm picturing.
And that's the one I picture when like they're filming all of the kids when we get into like 2020s, and I'm like, they're still using this like 2000s camera. It feels right. It feels right that that's the camera they use.
Yes.
Yeah, so Sully is 2 months old now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already, yeah, like you said, part mermaid.
Yes, part mermaid, part pirate. Daisy is the pirate. So that makes Reich the merman. But they're just being really cute, giving Sully her bath. They are still living with Lily and Lo at this point, and they come down with Mafi and Uncle Unnel. There's no C. Unnel Wright Daddy said big rock. And that's when we learn. So Daisy's like, you told Lo. Reich says, on our run back, I told Lo that I was going to see if it'd be fucking possible to climb Desert Shield. So he had been meant to climb that back in August, and here we are in April.
Yeah.
Almost a year later, and he's finally ready to climb Desert Shield at the end of May. So he's still got some time left.
And we learned
But
that
like, that's
he's
crazy.
upped his training in preparation for this.
Like, yeah, but you'd still think, like, after, like, he had been rehabbing for months at the point that he decided that he was going to climb. But he's saying at the end of, that's only a couple of months. This may, like,
yeah.
Which just points to how committed and motivated he can be when he wants to be.
Definitely, because it was February at Camp Calloway with Greg when he's saying, you know, he's no longer got his cane, he's no longer got his limb. But like you said, he couldn't stretch as much, he didn't have as much. So yeah, exactly. 2 months later, and he's like almost ready to do this massive climb. He put his mind to it, and we also learned that he sought professional help. So I think he also went to see a therapist because, like, it says Reich knows his limit, and so that he could handle potential flashbacks. Because it would be the worst thing if he hadn't, and then he's halfway up Desert Shield and he's reliving the time in Peru.
Yeah. Yeah, and they talk about how, like, Celebrity Crush, God, was interviewing people that were claiming that Reich was never going to walk again, much less climb. So this will turn into a big deal. The fact that Reich, like, according to the public, is under the impression that Reich will never walk again, and the fact that he's going to be climbing in a highly publicized, like, ad for Fizzle is going to draw even more media attention to that. But Daisy also points out that Razy is Alive has been trending for 2 weeks straight, and Razy Baby, so that the media is officially, like, rooting for her and Reich as a couple, which is really sweet. And also they have not gotten any pictures of Sully. They don't want the paparazzi to ever get any pictures of Sully. They are the kind of parents that, like, they are a little less, they have less notoriety than Lily and Lo, so that gets talked about later. But, like, they're able to keep Sully out of the public eye a little more than Jane and Mothy. So Reich is asking her how she's feeling with everything that with the surgery that she went through. Obviously she had a total hysterectomy. Her hormone balance needs to be adjusted, so she has been on meds to kind of help her adjust with that. And one of the potential side effects was that she was not going to be able to orgasm. It would be difficult for her, even though it was already difficult for her before. And it was like, it's something that they were kind of upset about for Daisy. Like, Reich was upset about that for her, because obviously that was something that she'd just been struggling with before she'd ever had these really, really major health problems. And now they attempted to fix this and remove this problem, and it's made it worse. So she does talk about how she is actually feeling really good that Reich did this thing where he, like, stretched, and he's like, did I hurt her or something? He looks concerned about how she's talking about it. What did I do this morning? I wonder if he thinks it's bad, whatever I have to say. He combs 2 hands through his messy hair. Yep, he thinks it's bad. And she goes, you let out this long groan and stretched your arms above your head, and then you turned over, tucked your arm around me. And she's like, I touched myself after that. And he's like, are you fucking, like, genuinely, are you fucking serious right now? This is amazing. This is so good.
Yeah.
He, like, covers his mouth, his hand to his mouth in disbelief. Like, this is very good news. So it does seem that they mentioned, so when they mentioned that she may have difficulty having an orgasm, it was that, like, everyone reacts differently to a hysterectomy. We don't know which way you're going to swing, but it seems she's swinging in a positive direction.
Yeah. And it was also good news because she's not going to have, because she doesn't have any cysts anymore, she also no longer has cramps and periods, so there's no pain from that. And now we're finding out, you know, that hopefully there might also be no more or less pain in general with sex. Another great thing. We're like, okay,
yes,
finally Daisy,
and,
she gets a win.
Yeah, she says she's wet. She got wet from that. Mafia asks, what's wet?
Because they were all just listening.
Yes.
Oh.
And then Daisy also says, don't forget, camera operators will be here at the end of May to set up. And that'll be the first day of filming for the docuseries. And Lo jokes, he's like, Doomsday, it is a joke. You all want to do this, right? It's my favorite idea anyone has had about this stuff. Way better than the reality show. But don't tell Rose I said that.
Oh,
She
I love how it
defends.
ends as well. Like,
Yes.
Lo goes, Lily Martha Hill, where's the loyalty? And Lily just smiles at Daisy, and Daisy smiles back. Calloway sisters for life.
The loyalty is with her sister. Okay. Chapter 66. So it is the end of May. They are in Utah, and Reich is about to climb Desert Shield. There's a lot of media, like I said, with everything that they had speculated about Reich's recovery and the fact that this is meant to be filmed for Fizzle. Like, there's a lot of media attention around this climb for Reich. And the whole family is there, all of the babies, all the siblings, everyone. But Reich talks about how, like, today I'm wearing a harness, I have rope. There's nothing special about Desert Shield. Hundreds of people have climbed it the way I plan it. I'm not free soloing. I'm not banking on beating anyone's records. I'm just climbing a challenging route for the first time in 10 months.
Which, like we said, is kind of an insane recovery time.
Yeah.
To come back so quickly. Yeah.
Yes. Even with him putting up a bit of a stink about it, even still, this man has drive.
But it's really, really cute. And there's this, like, obviously tout part where Reich stands and he's, adjusting his harness. And he looks at the tattoo that's on his forearm now that's visible. Just want to say also in this little location.
Yeah.
And he's got, Daisy has an identical one. And it's 4 dates in a small font, vertically lined. The day that I kissed Daisy for the first time, the day I asked her to marry me, the day we became husband and wife, the day our daughter was born. And then beneath Sullivan's birthday, Daisy has scribbled on black pen, 5/19/18, today, the day I climb again. He's got all his super important dates tattooed now as a permanent reminder. It feels very, very right, and it's so perfect.
Yeah. And so we see this kind of goodbye send-off sort of scene that we saw in Hot House Flower, and we saw it in Addicted After All. They do this before his climbs, and it's so sweet that they do it here too. But he notes that, like, for those, they were all, like, really worried. There was this sense of anxiety over the group, like, please be careful while you're doing this. And this time, there's none of that. They finally understand that Reich was half of who he was when he wasn't climbing, and now he's back to who he is. This is what he does, and he's maybe not perfectly whole, but he is mostly whole again. And they're just happy to see that.
It is really nice. He asks them, like, you're not nervous. They just smile, and they're all just so supportive. This book is so full of, like, full circle moments and growth, and this is just another, like, amazing moment.
Lo's like, do your thing from Lo.
Aww, I know. Aww.
And then he says, he's like, you're not fucking nervous. I guess we've all realized something. You're not living when you're not climbing Big Brother. None of us are going to keep you on this shitty fucking ground.
And then
Connor adds, unless you want to, we'll put up with whichever rag meadows you want to give us, but just know I like the one in front of me best.
And Reich's acknowledgement. Thanks. It's been a long fucking road. And he thinks to himself, I needed all of you. Yeah. The core six isn't themselves without each other.
No. Then we get all of these cute parent moments. Lily and Lo see an ant on the ground, and they're, like, trying to kill it because we saw way, way early on in this book that Mafi is allergic to fire ants, so they're, like, trying to keep them away from him. And we see Rose talking with Charlie and Beckett. I think Charlie is the one that she's talking to. He's the one that's awake. And Charlie and Beckett both have Rose's yellow-green eyes. She talks about how they're the best eyes in the world. They'll defeat their adversaries and claim victories because they don't have Connor's calm blue eyes. And Connor's like, have you noticed Jane's eyes lately, darling?
But I love how she does it. She's like, Jane, you're beautiful like water. And then to Beckett and Charlie, she's like, fire. So she loves all her children equally.
Yes. Water extinguishes fire, not our fire.
Mm.
And Reich he forces himself not to make eye contact with Daisy and our daughter. Then I turn and head toward the crag, helmet in hand. This is exactly what he did in Hothouse Flower. He
I
waited for
love this
Daisy to
bit so
chase after
much.
him. I feel her race after me. My body heats, the sun blazing, my heart fucking speeding. I'm lit up, and another time, another place, she's not here. I turn around to no one. The sky darkens. I scream without her. I live without her. So as I turn around this time, I remember everything. I watch how she slows to a stop, her green eyes glittering, boring straight through me. I touch her soft hair, wildflowers strewn throughout the blonde strands. A crown rests on Sullivan's head, our happy daughter in Daisy's arms.
I love this. And I love that they both have the flowers in their hair and everything.
Yes.
And then Rake says to Daisy in Italian, "Without you, the sun has no sky." And she reaches up and puts a flower crown on Rake's head to match, telling him, "I love you." They're so cute.
And
they're just...
he says goodbye to Daisy, and then he like focuses on Sully. When I become older, when I'm fucking gray, she'll be able to recall all those times her father climbed. She'll have watched me, seen me doing what I love. I never want her to give up on the pieces of existence that make her her. I want Sullivan Mini Meadows to race at 150 miles per hour. No brakes in sight. Don't be afraid of the unknown in tomorrow. Don't be afraid of death. There is no life worse than a hollow one.
They're so cute.
And then right before he leaves, Daisy says, "He'd be proud of you."
The end of this book is just tears the whole time.
I know. My eyes immediately. Well, yeah, same.
Yeah.
I think so too. Sully would have never want me to quit, but looking back, there's no way I could have climbed right after his death, not even if my leg was fine. I needed time. And so he gets ready to climb, and he has this necklace that he's wearing, and he says only Daisy knows this, but Sully had a will. This poorly written note found in the fucking glove compartment of his green Jeep. In it, he wrote, "Give Reich Meadows my ashes. I want to be in the clouds and no one is going to get there but him." So he's carrying a small portion of his ashes. And he says, "You're going to climb with me one last time, Sully." And it always makes me so emotional because during the rehearsal dinner, when Sully said, "Bring me with you," and Reich rolled his eyes and said, "Of course you're coming with me." And he does come with him.
No.
Oh my god.
We're just going to cry now.
That's the end. That's where we're ending this podcast, by the way.
But it does, the very last line does end on a very uplifting, positive note for Reich. "With the corners of my mouth lifting, I rise off the dirt." So yeah, it's been 10 months, but Reich is with Sully one last time climbing, and he's climbing again. It's very sad, but it's also really... It's bittersweet, let's put it that way. It's really, really sad, but we're also very, very happy for Reich. And for everything that we've learned in this chapter, you know, Sully and Daisy are alive and happy and with Reich, and they have, you know, all that they wanted for their family. And, you know, Bo and Connor and Rose and Lily all see Reich for who he is and understand what climbing means to him, really, you know? But yeah, but Adam Sully is not there.
He's kind of there. He's there in spirit.
That's true. That's what we're going to say for the rest of their lives. Adam Sully is always there in spirit.
Well, that's what I want to... Well, no. So I guess he, like, takes the ashes up and he, like, releases them up there. I was going to say, like, I wonder if he wears the necklace with Sully's ashes always, but I guess not.
No, I think...
Could be more poetic. You could wear it and then just constantly bring Sully with you on your climbs.
Yeah. But I think because he says he wants to be in the clouds, that we're meant to think that Reich, like, distributes him.
Leaves him up there. Yeah. I'm going to choose to believe he did half, and then he kept the other half of that tiny little bit, and he carries Sully with him.
Yeah. How tall is this mountain? This cliff face? It's like 1,000?
Like, yeah.
And it definitely says it, like, way earlier in the book.
Yeah, we've definitely talked about how big it is. Is it still 1,000-foot ascension? Yes.
Okay, cool.
1,000 feet. All right. Well, we are going to end part 7 here, and hopefully we should end the long way down discussion with next week's episode, part 8. So until then, continue to stay addicted to Krista and Becca's writing like us.